Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where last episode we figured out just how much of an idiot I am because I was adding the offset instead of subtracting it and then getting really confused as to why these weren't working. But now they're working fine, so that's good. So next, now that we can actually place our waypoint, we should probably go ahead and, for both the origination point and the waypoint, go ahead and set the positions of the line renderer to 0 for now. Just so that it doesn't spawn with those lines. No, I don't want to minimize Unity. I want to come back up into here. Okay, so now we need to go into our building hex. And we've got our create route interaction pretty much finished then. So now we need to do our edit route mode. So when we're in edit route mode, we need to check to see if we're clicking on a waypoint. And this is going to have to be not here, because this will only be called when we're clicking on an empty building hex. So let's open up waypoint, which I believe is what I may have closed. That's right here. Okay. So we now know that we're left mouse clicking on a waypoint, right mouse clicking on a waypoint. And then left mouse clicked on a line, right mouse clicked on a line. Okay. So we need to go into our business and have a selected route, which should be what, a game object? I think it should be a game object. Or just a route. Public route selected route equals null. That should be a nullable type. So it can be null, that's fine. So if we have no route selected and we're in a building hex and we go in here, we need to, okay. Waypoint interactions are handled in waypoint.cs. Okay, there's that out of the way. So, this would just be to append a new waypoint. But the question is, how do we know where in the route to append it? So, how do we know where in the route to append it? Also, there's remove route, which would be just simply remove selected route. If selected route. Remove selected route, else throw error. Okay. So waypoint interactions are handled in waypoint.cs. This would be just to append a new waypoint. How do we know where in the route to append it? The other thing that we need to do is, if we're not dragging a waypoint, this would be just to append a new waypoint. If we are dragging a waypoint, this would move it to this hex's position. And once it's at that hex's position, is this on mouse down? This is on mouse down. Should this perhaps be in get mouse button for the drag? I don't think we have one. We'd have to create one. It's not the worst thing. We can just add a new else if at the bottom here. So right here. Else if input.getMouseButton 0. So this would be every frame. Now, most things we don't want to do every frame, right? So instead, what we want to do... This only is called... It's called onMouseOver. Okay. Which should return every frame that the mouse is over it, not onMouseEnter, onMouseExit. Okay. So waypoint interactions are handled in waypoint.cs. If we're not... Okay, so this should still happen here. If we are dragging a waypoint, this is handled in getMouseButton 0. Okay. So down here, we need to go ahead and do, I believe, a switch statement, like we have here. And we probably need the hex ID as well. So let's go ahead and copy all of this. And then we would switch the interaction mode. We don't need to have all of them for right now. For right now, all we need to do is case interaction mode dot edit root. And then we'll just break out for right now. And then we'll come on up here. And we do not need to check if it's owned. So this is just, we're dragging a waypoint. So we need to check right here. We need to go ahead and check if there's a selected route and if that route has a waypoint being dragged. Move the dragged waypoint to here and recalculate route. Kind of like that. Okay. So that's essentially what needs to happen for the edit route mode. So if we're not dragging a waypoint, this would be just to append a new waypoint. And we should probably make sure Shift or Control... I don't think we would need to prepend waypoints. So we should probably just make sure Shift is held, because you'd have to Shift-click to add a waypoint, right? Or would you? I don't think you would. So we would just need to know where in the waypoint to add it. Now, one thing we should go ahead and do is we should go into our waypoint here, which I believe the origination point is considered a waypoint, correct? It has the root script and it has the waypoint script. Yes. Although here, I'm noticing that the line renderer isn't set, which is a small problem. Okay, let's go ahead and set that. There we go. Oh, it's not set here either. That's exciting. Okay, there we go. Now both of them know about their line renderer. There's that nipped in the bud. Let's go ahead and come up here. We have our line updating. Theoretically, this should all work. We'll test that soon enough. But if it's a click on a waypoint, we are going to need to check, like, we're going to need to know about the business, right? So let's go ahead and do a private business, and then a private void start. And that is simply going to be business equals GameObject.findObject of type, which we probably shouldn't do, but whatever, I'm lazy. Business. Realistically, we're not going to be spawning these things very frequently in terms of performance. Like, you can spawn one like once every several seconds, like maybe like potentially even several per second if you're really, really quick. But even so, that should be a negligible performance hit. So we'll go ahead and get the business, and then down here we are going to need to check to see if we are in edit mode. right? Yeah. So, before we do the raycast, if business.interaction mode equals interaction mode.edit mode, or edit root, if it's actually not equal to this, then we just want to return. Simple as that. If it's not equal to interaction mode.edit root, we don't care. We can just peace out. It's fine. Okay, so update line goes in here, and we pass in the small part from root. That should all work fine. So if we are in interaction mode.edit root, then this will happen. So if hit.collider.gameObject equals this.gameObject, then it's a click on a waypoint. Otherwise, it's a click on a line. Hang on a moment. The line renderer is on the same object, right? Oh, come on, compiler. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and spawn in the origination point here. It is. Oh, but when we update the line, we spawn the colliders on a new game object. That's right. So if hit.collider.gameObject equals this.gameObject, this is a click on a waypoint. Otherwise, it's a click on a line. So when you click on a line, any way you slice it, well, actually, right-click should select it. Business.selectedRoot equals... we don't actually know what root we're part of. We can fix that. Public root. Okay, so then business.selectedRoot equals root. There we go. So you right-click to select, you left-click to interact. Let's go ahead and go into our roots here, or into our root script, which is closed. I believe it is. Come here, root. There you go. Let's stick it over here. Right by the waypoint. Ish. Since that happened to close it. There we go. Okay. So, when we spawn in the waypoint... we'll need to assign it to the root. Which we don't spawn waypoints right now. Looks like we are intended to spawn waypoints externally? Let's create a method for this. Public void add waypoint. Vector3 position. Okay. So then the waypoint, we have the waypoint prefab here already, which I'm assuming is set. Yes. Okay. So then we would need to say something like game object go equals instantiate waypoint prefab. Do we put it inside of this root parented to it? Probably. So we'll do that. Transform. Instantiate in world space. Yes, we do want to instantiate in world space. So... is there an instantiate in world space with a vector3 position? No, but there's position, rotation, and parent. I think we'll just not set a parent for right now, and we'll parent it later. So we'll instantiate it at position, and quaternion, no, not quality level, quaternion.identity for right now. And then down here, we'll say go.transform.parent equals this.transform. Okay, and then we will need to go ahead and do a couple of things. we'll need to do waypoint new waypoint equals go.getComponent waypoint. If I can type, there we go. And then new waypoint dot root equals this. And then we would need to do waypoints dot add new waypoint. And then we would go ahead and set the transform dot parent. Like that. So that should add us in a new waypoint to the selected route relatively easily. And then we should also, when we add the waypoint, we should update path. Like so. And then in the waypoint, business.selectedRoute equals route. If we are clicking and dragging, so if we click and drag on a waypoint, then we initiate drag. If we click on a line, get X under this and put in a waypoint there. Like that. That should be kind of quasi-intuitive, but it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue working on editing routes. See you all then.